Joining us for a couple of minutes this morning. We will once again begin with Dina King.
Hey, Cedric, what have you worked on in the off season to improve at linebacker?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing I worked on, probably one of the biggest things I worked on last year was using my hands to get off blockers. I had recently met with Chaz and kind of talking to him. He was just kind of talking about looking over, my film from this past season. And he mentioned that I got better at using my hands, but just some situations where I could have used them better, or just the way I line up, where I hold them and all that. So I think that was the biggest thing that I've been holding on to this offseason.
Thank you.
Andrew Jones.
Cedric, this time a year ago, I don't think you had any idea that you would end up playing as much as you did and leading the team in tackles. How do you find yourself approaching spring practice now as opposed to a year ago, now that you have all that experience and you're looked to as perhaps the leader of the defense?
Yeah, I approach it just like you said. I've been preparing every day, making sure that I know the calls, I know everything that I'm supposed to do, the guys around me, what they're supposed to do. So like you said, I can be that leader. I can be vocal. I can point guys into the right direction and just help out and step up and be that leader.
When you had a chance to look back and digest last season, what about the way you played? There's something about the way you played that kind of surprised you, that you did maybe more efficiently and more consistently than you would have expected maybe going in, given the fact that you didn't have a ton of experience once you got on the field?
I wouldn't say I was shocked. I'll say I was happy, that, all the work that I put in, it finally showed for itself. I always believed in myself and in my talent. But it was definitely exciting, finally like see it, come to light, and actually see it. And, you start to believe it a lot more once you see it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. If you don't mind, is there a moment, was there a game, is there a sequence in the game that you look back and say, okay, that's when you knew that you belonged and you were an every snap guy?
Probably my first start versus Virginia game. I got that pass deflection in the back of the end zone on a slot wide receiver. I think, after that play, being a linebacker guarding a slot receiver, I really started to feel confident, like, hey, you can do this. Slot receiver, running back, it don't matter. You got the talent, to fit the A gap or to guard somebody down the field.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Cedric, it's been, I guess, 6 years now since we've seen a Gene Chizik defense, just in a little bit that you've worked within this scheme. How would you describe it to us?
I would say simple and fast. I think that's one of the two biggest things he's like made very vocal to us. He wants us to be very simple and have great fundamentals so we can allow our talents to kind of do the rest and take care of the rest of the job. So, just kind of getting in, learning the playbook and really just, diving into it.
Is it a significant change from what you guys were doing under Jay?
I would say, yeah. We've changed, a few things around and how we run, certain coverages and our fronts and stuff like that. But, it's still a little early. We don't exactly have a lot, in right now. But it's definitely, a little bit different than Jay's Bay defense for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, Alvaro Torres, go ahead.
Hi, Cedric. I hope you're having a great day. This is Alvaro Torres with Ensoners, a Latin American network. Well, my question is, how do you replace not only the player, but also the leader that Jeremiah Gemmel was on this team?
Right. I've said this numerous times. I give a lot of my praise to Jeremiah, why I'm in the position that I am now. So, just taking, everything that I learned from him and just kind of implementing it in my game as, athletically, being a leader, all that, so just taking, what he taught me and just kind of implementing it, and using it in my world.
Alvaro, go again. Go ahead.
Me again?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. What are your expectations leading up to this spring game, the spring training and the 2022 season?
Expectations for who? Myself, the team?
For both.
For myself, I really one of the big goals that I have for myself this year is to be a team captain. That would be an honor to be voted that. But for the team, I think for us, I just want us, keep improving, and keep being a better team so we can be the best team that we are when the season comes.
Thank you, Cedric. I hope you're having a great day.
Okay, over to Peyton Launder. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just wondering, have you been following the recently announced renovations to the team's locker room and training room and player lounge? And if you have, how do you think that can help the team in the future?
Yeah, I've heard about the recent renovations. I guess it could only help. I mean, upgrading the facilities. The team is gonna like it. Recruits are gonna like it. So I think it'll only help us. I don't think it'll be a bad thing for us.
Thank you.
All right, we've got two more in the queue. Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Cedric, got a few for you here. Is there a different feeling around spring practice this year based on kind of how the season went last year? Is there anything you notice that feels a little bit different about how the whole team or even the coaching staff or even Coach Brown is approaching it?
Yeah, speaking like from the defensive side of the ball, it's definitely got a different vibe. I mean, we have a whole, new D coordinator, we're implementing a new defense, we're kind of doing different drills defensively. So it definitely has a little bit of a different vibe to it for sure.
What's that vibe? Like, is it more of an urgency, more of a focus, or what kind of vibe is it?
Definitely a sense of urgency. Coach Cedric is all about intensity and giving it our all every rep and being very fundamental sound every rep. And I'm enjoying it. I think it's something that we really need, and it can really help us, on the defensive side of the ball.
And are there a couple players on either side of the ball, the younger guys that are standing out to you? Not necessarily the freshmen, if it could be the freshmen, but younger guys you think are going to make an impact this year that have already kind of stood out in 2 days of practice?
On the defensive side of the ball?
Either one, anybody that stands out to you think is going to make a name for himself?
Younger guy, I would say, Dontavius Nash.
Okay.
Safety out here. We got a few, DBs kind of banged up right now. So he's kind of had to step in with the blue group, and he's been doing his thing. He's been giving great effort. He's been in the right place. He's been making plays. And so Dontavius Nash definitely has been sticking out to me.
Great. Thanks, man.
Okay, over to Gregory Hall.
Cedric, how are you handling yourself different during practice? We saw you a little bit on Tuesday and just kind of interacting with Power and Rara and some of those younger linebackers. Just what's different about you in spring practice this time around than last year?
Yeah, like I was saying before, I mean, just, really trying to be a leader this year. Coach Mac Brown is always talking about, hey, we need leaders. We need guys stepping up. We need guys, helping out young guys, And so I'm just trying to be a leader as much as possible, talking to our guys, having discussions, making sure, we're on the same page, encouraging guys, all types of stuff, just really trying to step into that leadership role and just do the best that I can to help this team win.
And is there a newfound appreciation for what Jeremiah brought last year now that you're kind of having to have that role as well?
I wouldn't say it was a newfound appreciation, because I've always appreciated what Jeremiah did for me, and all the younger guys around. And I knew what he did was a very responsible, heavy job. And so I've always appreciated what he did. I understood, it took a lot more than just a normal.
Thank you.
All right, our final question today will come from CL Brown.
Hey, Cedric, I had to step away, so I hope I'm not asking you to repeat something, but I was just curious what Noah's presence was like on the defense now. I find it interesting whenever a veteran guy comes and transfers in, just how fast or slow it takes him to get acclimated. Where do you feel like he's at?
Oh, he's fit in just well. He gets along with all the guys. He's a great person, off the field, but speaking on the field, he's a great player. Just seeing him go through drills, go through practice, his intensity is very high. He's a very aggressive and just overall a great football player. And I think he's a great addition to our team. I think, he'll be a leader. Yeah, in a way, he's vocal. He's an older guy. He's been through this before. And so I think it's just a great addition to our defense and the team.
He said he was maybe he didn't use the word reluctant, but I am just, he hasn't established himself as a leader was the gist of what he was saying, because he's, in a new environment. But you just mentioned him being vocal. How do you view how he's trying to, has it been just by example, or do you see him taking more of an active role?
Yeah, I've definitely seen him, encouraging guys, especially this off season, before we even got here on the field. I seen him in the weight room, encouraging guys, complimenting guys, just having that positive attitude, and that's what we need. And so I've seen that, through winter workouts. I've seen that these past few days in spring practice, and I think it's only gonna grow, because like he said, he is a little new. He still is getting a little bit more acclimated, but once he feels very comfortable, I think he'll be a leader for this defense.
Thank you.
All right, Sed, that's all we have for you today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.